What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day. So, when I got out of the theater of Sonic 3, my wheels started turning because I love that movie so much. And I was really eager for what happens next because those post-credit scenes really left me scratching my head and gave me tons of ideas for where the series could go. So many that one theory is not enough, one video is not enough. My mind has been changing. And ultimately, here's the thing. Whatever they come up with is going to be great. I have a strong feeling about it. I hope, at least, But I'm going to have fun theorizing because that's what I like to do. And it seems like people, based on the way they've been responding, like what I'm doing as well. So obviously this video will contain spoilers for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, that movie. So if you have not seen it yet, I don't know what you're doing here. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure to leave a like and come back because we are going to be delving into some end credits, mid credit scene spoilers. Make sure you stay for both end credit scenes in that movie. Let's continue. So Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is looking like it's pulling from Sonic CD, no matter what angle you strike from. I mean, Amy Rose and Metal Sonic appearing side by side, they're letting us know. Now, what are they going to pull from? How direct of an adaptation will it be? Well, obviously, I think there will be changes, in part because that story is relatively light, and in part because I just think they're going to pull from multiple different games as well as some original stuff. So, where are we going? Well, Sonic CD is primarily set on Little Planet, and actually, my last theory video, I didn't really talk about Little Planet, I don't think at all. I also didn't talk about the Time Stones, which are kind of the main objective in the game. They're like the Chaos Emeralds of that game. The Time Stones allow the user, the guy who wields all of them, to manipulate time itself. So, do I think we'll see the Time Stones in the movie? Yeah, but they might even simplify it into, instead of it being multiple Time Stones, just one. Because, I mean, really, that was only for gameplay reasons. But for the Time Stones, yeah, why not just have one Time Stone? That could work. So, the Time Stones, let's get into that. So, here's what I think is going to happen, right? What I think is going to happen is we're going to see Metal Sonic was created by either Robotnik, if he's still alive, or potentially Stone, or potentially Gun, or some combination, right? I think there were definitely Robotnik's designs definitely played a role. So if Robotnik is alive, he'll play a role in the plot. But either way, he will be usurped by Metal Sonic. So, let's get into it. At the start of the film, basically the end credit scenes of this one, what do we see? We see Amy Rose saving Sonic from a bunch of Metal Sonics. This is where my theory comes into play. We got some questions we want answered. Where did she come from? Well, my last video where I talked about that, my theory is that she comes from either the future or Little Planet, or possibly a bit of both. So, Little Planet, I think if we're going to have time travel as an element, we need to make it simple to understand, which is always hard. So how do we solve that issue? Well, because we have a little planet, or it might not even be a little planet. Maybe it's Mobius or something, but it plays the role Little Planet played in the original. Regardless, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to refer to it as Little Planet. What if Little Planet has its own kind of rules for time travel? What I mean by that is, what if the Time Stone is native to Little Planet and can only be used on Little Planet, but it has total control over time on Little Planet? So let's say that Metal Sonic is created on Earth, okay? Or maybe he's created off-world by Eggman. Either which way, somehow Metal Sonic ends up on this little planet where he then gets control of the Time Stone and uses it of his own and ends up becoming basically this metal dictator. He creates generators in the past, like he did in Sonic CD, that Sonic will have to come back and destroy. And he creates an army in the present, and he creates it in the future. So he's now sitting in the future, sending versions of himself back through time, so he's the ruler in every time period. He's building himself up in the past with sending Metal Sonics to the past, so that way he could be better in the middle, and finally the supreme ruler in the end. So all throughout time in Little Planet's history has been revised where he is now the ruler. Now the problem is he can't use the Time Stone outside of the world. So his main base of operations, the central hub for Metal Sonic, will be Little Planet. So that is where we pick up with the Sonic end credit scene. So in what is now the present, he sends some Metal Sonics to Earth, right? They try and kill Sonic. They fail. Then maybe Amy tells him, hey, these guys took over. He used the time stone. She explains what happened to him. She's like, we need to get back. Well, where did Metal Sonic come from? And that's when they learn that, Metal Sonic was created. Let's go, for example, on Earth. One theory is Metal Sonic was created on Earth. They try and stop Metal Sonic's creation, but he escapes the little planet, and by then it's too late. Or maybe Dr. Robotnik wound up on the little planet and created, Metal Sonic there. There's multiple ways they could go, but point is, once Metal Sonic gets the time stone on Little Planet, it is over. And so Amy, knowing that, feels the only person that can help defeat Metal Sonic is the one who inspired him, Sonic. So she goes to Earth from Little Planet, and from there, she tries to recruit Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles to come back and form a resistance to fight back. Now, another theory I have is in Sonic CD, there's these little signs you run past that Sonic has to run by super fast, and then it triggers something that sends him either back or forward in time. Now, what if there's some kind of devices that Amy has access to, but they can't run fast enough, and they need someone to run fast enough to trigger time travel? Maybe it's time stones, right? But in order to use a certain time stone, you have to have someone who runs super fast, kind of like what the Flash does, or more appropriately, what Sonic does in Sonic CD. So just like in the games, he's going to run, and it's going to trigger that reaction, kind of like what we see in Sonic CD, and I'll travel back and forth in time. So it'll kind of be like a little time traveling adventure. We're trying to destroy the generators in the past. We're trying to do stuff in the present. We're trying to do stuff in the future on Little Planet. And along the way, through learning about Little Planet and all these different eras, we can kind of see different glimpses of it. And I think Amy will be his main companion. Maybe we'll see Sonic and Tails. Maybe Tails and Knuckles will be stuck in the present. And then in the future, who knows? We could get glimpses of other characters. Maybe we see Silver in the future as a Resistance member, possibly Blaze. But if we do see anyone else, it could be smaller. Maybe we see Cream the Rabbit with someone who lives on Little Planet. Hell, maybe Amy is from Little Planet. She wasn't in the games. But in all honesty, Little Planet was really just a place they kind of all went. Little Planet itself in Sonic CD, as far as I recall, is not a place where any characters were from. Everyone who is a main character in Sonic CD came to Little Planet, right? Metal Sonic came to Little Planet. Eggman came to Little Planet. Amy came to Little Planet to find Sonic. No one was from Little Planet. Well, what if that's changed in the movie? What if Little Planet is where Amy is from, and maybe also where Cream is from? Maybe where Big the Cat is from. Maybe other characters are from there. And maybe Amy came back to, hey, I need you to save my friends, like Cream the Rabbit. Cream the Rabbit has been taken by the Metal Sonics. So now she also has to save her own damsel in distress, her friend, like almost like a little sister kind of figure, Cream the Rabbit. And she needs the help of Sonic and his friends to do it. And it could even be a joke where maybe Amy is the one accompanying him on a time travel while Tails and Knuckles are doing their own thing. Tails could be kind of the tech genius helping with the time travel. But it could even be a thing where they're like, man, I feel like Sonic's abandoning us for the girl. That could even be a running joke. There's a lot of different directions they could take it. But I think could possibly, in this theory, of course, be a time-traveling adventure within Little Planet, right? So we have our characters who come to Little Planet, and that is where it's mostly set. So again, we could have Cream, we could have Blaze, we could have all sorts of characters. How many characters live on Little Planet? We don't know. Now, in the games, Little Planet is shacked up to her main planet, basically Earth, and it appears every once in a while. It is a little planet that is on a planet. So do I think they're going to do that, or will it be a planet out in space? I don't know. Hell, it could even be a little planet off of a foreign planet. So they travel through a ring to a planet, and then Little Planet is within the planet. But I think that's too complicated. So there's two possibilities. One is that Little Planet is a planet that appears on Earth that maybe Gunn knows about, and it appears by this lake every however many years, right? And they shackle it down, just like in the game, and they invade it. That's one possibility, and then Metal Sonic takes over. So Little Planet is a little planet that appears on Earth and has a bunch of Sonic-related characters, like anthropomorphic characters. Or maybe it is actually a planet out in space. It could be either which way. Either way, I think it is characters coming from another planet that is taken over and has its own set of rules with some Sonic characters. And then so they have to leave Earth. And I think we're going to spend the second movie kind of dealing with the time stone on that planet. Now, I think if Silver and characters like that are there, the way it could work is at the end, everyone teams up and defeats Metal Sonic. And along the way, through all these different time periods, Metal Sonic, kind of like in Sonic Heroes, could be absorbing powers from every single character he fights. So maybe he has Knuckles' powers, Tails' powers, Sonic's powers, Amy's powers. He takes from everyone. And then at the end, they all climactically fight him in the future. Now, of course, regardless of what my theory is, they have to have a fight at Stardust Speedway. That just has to happen. So, of course, Sonic and Metal Sonic will have a fight/race for some reason at Stardust Speedway. That's just going to happen. But at the end, I think we're going to see all the Sonic characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, possibly Shadow. We'll see whoever else. Maybe Silver, maybe Blaze, maybe Cream, maybe Big the Cat, whoever are going to climactically fight Metal Sonic, the final version of Metal Sonic at once, get the Time Stone, reverse his damage, seal it away, and or it gets destroyed. But if that's the case, I think all of the characters, now that the bad future is gone or whatever, could be in one timeline. So maybe simplifying things. So maybe Silver and all of them are now brought to the present, or maybe Silver remains in a brighter future, if he's in the movie at all. So there are possibilities. Everyone could be there at once, but if Silver is brought from the future, like people like Blaze and Silver are brought from the future, they could be the new rulers of Little Planet. And Amy is like, you know what? I want to stay at Earth with Sonic and friends. So Amy becomes a regular, and the rest aren't really regulars. I think that's how they could be doing things. I think that would be a really fun, really exciting way of doing things. There's so much possibility. There is so much to do. Some other things that I think are going to happen. I think possibly if we do have Silver in the future, just a little thing, it could even be like only the strongest survive, which is why Silver, of course, is a telekinetic, could be one of the few surviving people in the future resistance, is because the weaker people like Cream, people like whatever, were wiped out. And so the people in the few characters in the future are super strong. Like that would be why Blaze would be alive. She's super powerful. So is Silver. So anyone who's alive in the future could be super strong. But anyway, these are all just theories. I'm rambling, but yeah, I do think if we go by this theory that the Time Stone on its own planet, controlled by Metal Sonic, and Metal Sonic has an army of people that have been, Metal Sonics that have been sent out to other planets, but he is conquering there. And in fact, one interesting twist, if Eggman is still alive, instead of it being like the games, right, where Eggman is ruling Little Planet, that could be happening, but it could also where he's creating a future where he rules, but maybe he got overthrown by Metal Sonic and now he's part of the resistance. But of course he has underhanded plans because he really still wants to lead, but they have to reluctantly work with Eggman. And who knows, maybe Eggman could even end up being set up as a new villain. Again, there are so many possibilities. And hey, one idea I had, what if he creates Omega to combat Metal Sonic, right? So Omega was like, oh, must destroy all of Eggman's creations. What if he's destroying all of Metal Sonic's creations or Eggman's other creations? There's so many different directions we can go. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that it being set on one planet that is ruled by the Time Stone, where Metal Sonic can't time travel or use the Time Stone's powers on other planets, which is why he stays on Little Planet, but he can send his minions that were created on Little Planet to other planets, if that makes sense. So he could send, Metal Sonics. He could time travel them throughout time on his planet, but from there, he has to just send them through rings and other means to other planets. So he can only time travel within Little Planet. I think that would allow for simpler rules, would make it so the time traveling is more contained. There's no crazy stuff. But what do you guys think? And again, I think the plot will mainly be Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, possibly Shadow, possibly Cream, like a little bit, but the main characters will be Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles. And maybe if we see Silver or anything like that, they won't be main characters. But let me know what you guys think. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. I have some really interesting ideas planned. Like one idea I had was possibly ranking characters in terms of likelihood to appear in Sonic 4. I think that could be fun because it had multiple theories with multiple possible characters and just seeing who is most likely to appear. I think that could be fun. And one last thing before I go, I want you guys to check out my website, rebeloasisstudios.com, because I have a brand new comic book that, as of me making this video, is more than halfway funded. In fact, I think I got a few new people that just came in. We are on our way to funding my next comic book, Phenomenova issue 2, Down to the Core. So if this looks interesting to you, you can go ahead and back a comic of your tier. The art is completely done. I just got the letters for my letter, like the word balloons and stuff. And all we have to do is just make some little revisions, get it ready, get it funded so we can print it, because printing is expensive, and it'll be in your hands within the next couple months. The first issue is already done and has been very well received. In fact, you can actually buy issue 1 right now on my website, or you can even go and read it digitally. Click here for the digital store, and you can read the first 10 pages free on a website called Global Comics. But if you'd rather just get both issues at once and pay less for shipping, you can, of course, do a catch-up tier on this campaign, or you could go to any of the tiers, get any of the covers you want. There are multiple covers for issue 2. Or if you prefer a cheaper option, prefer reading digital, there are digital options available for you as well. But regardless, any contribution is very much appreciated. So I hope you guys back the book. But you know what? I haven't even told you what it's about. So let me go ahead and tell you. So Phenomenova issue 2 is set 20 years after World War III and follows the idealistic son of a war hero who has failed after the events of issue 1 to become a superhero on his own, and is now being trained by one of the veteran superheroes who fought during World War III. And this is his path to becoming a superhero. It's a training issue, but it's also a deep personal journey from a main character, and it's leading to some really cool stuff, but it's got some great character moments and some really cool art. So I hope you guys really enjoy what I've cooked up here, because we're building something big while also keeping a lot of personal touches. So hope you guys check that out, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. And stay tuned for the next one. And hey, do me a favor. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe for more. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Have a good one.